Okay, so now this next session, what we're going to dive into is placing objects on the map and setting up the behavior for those objects. Just simple ones like conversations or doors opening or closing or whatever. We're just going to jump, this might be a little bit longer one. We're just going to jump in and we're going to have some fun placing some objects. I'm not going to do all of them, but I'm going to put a couple down with a couple different scenarios just so you can see what we're up to and how you use different items in different places. More or less, this is where you get creative and the artistic side of you comes out. I mean, you could build a city, you could build a cave, a dungeon, whatever. We're going to start, I'm just going to build a little shanty town on the middle of our island we've created and set up. So yeah, after the titles, we're going to come back and we're going to jump into it. Okay, so here we are. We're going to open up our level. And here we are with our storyboard. We're going to open this up. Here we are. Now, we're at a spot on the island where I've set up some previous work, or it actually follows this video, I believe. So we're going to go to a different spot. So in the playlist, I am setting things, the numbers are the order of how you should probably learn. They're not necessarily the order of the way that I filmed it and put it together. That was more for some elements had to come before other elements, and then some elements were just fit into my time frame. They were shorter to do as a filming project, so I did them first, and I could fit them in later on into the project line. But the order they're in the playlist is probably the order you should proceed to build and learn these tools at, just for your convenience, so that it's a progressive step up. But that being said, here we are. So we got this island we built, and you can see that we have rounded it out here. We have this little dock that we built out here and stuff, and we've got a little shanty cabin up here that we've put in place for part of the storyline to progress. But what we're going to focus on is kind of this area down here and maybe up here on the top of this mound. We'll see if we get to that. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to come over to this area, nudge out the top here, and I'm going to put a windmill on top of this little mound, because we need infrastructure. I like things to be logical. Oh, I already put a water tower on top of that little mound. All right, and a shanty. Sorry, that's the one where I put the shanty, and the tower is at that end of the island. So then I'm going to put the windmill on top of this hill. So we'll start here, add object, and then that's in the, I believe, the Shantytown collection. And if I scroll down, I should probably also put a water tower. Do I have a water tower? Great, there's the windmill that I want. And we're going to put it, I believe we'll put it right here. Right there. That's a good spot for it. Now I'm going to add, if I can find a water tower. I have silos here, but I'm not sure that they're, we'll use this oil tank. That'll make a good water tower. And we're going to place that over here. There we go. Now we're going to zoom in. I'm going to drag my starter icon here. So before I get into setting any behaviors or anything, I like to just put my starter icon on the ground, save the game, and give it a looky-loo. Make sure that everything is going to check out. So here's my windmill. Checks out. Walk around it, take a look at the base. Yep, everything looks good. Then we're going to come over here. And we're going to check out this water tower. Now you'll see this, it's notched into the ground here a little bit. And over here, it's kind of raised it and notched it out and added some terrain features to it. And what that is the engine is, as long as you've got that object, I'll show you in a second, but as soon as you've got the object selected for ground placement, it's going to, oh, this works, good. We'll come up here, take a looky-loo around. You can see the area down below we're going to build our village in. Off to the ocean on that side. Walk across this side. There's our little windmill on the top of the knoll. I probably should move it to the top of this knoll now because that's raised up a bit or cut in. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to move the windmill. But I like the placement of this oil tank that we're going to use as a water reservoir for the town. So we're going to edit out of there. I'm going to take this one and we're going to move it. Now sometimes it's hard to see, but we're going to take it over here. Put it right there. And I think I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit more here. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's give it a quick look. Alright. There's this. We're up on top of the hill. No, it's down a bit. I need to move it. So we're going to take it. And I can see now there's a gradient there. So we're going to take it, put it right here. I believe that will be the top of the hill. Let me just... So it's built up a little pad for it, and it's squared it out. But it's taking it down there. So I think maybe I'll go right there with it. Yeah, it's giving it a pretty big base on this ground. I'm not sure I like that. Looks a little bit on the fake side, that ground where it's sitting, but you know what? We can fix that up. We can dress that up with some stuff later if we really need to. I'm going to give it a look in engine. Oh yeah, that looks better. There's the ground coming up there. There's where I don't like it there. It's a bit too... This is okay here. It's a bit of a ground or whatever, but over here, it's a little bit of a sloughed edge. So not a big deal though, because we're just going to save that now because that's where we're going to keep it. But what we're going to do is we are going to paint some grass on there. The only thing I have to do first is I need to, I don't really have wind in here, so the positioning of the blade doesn't really matter. It can face toward the village. It's good as aesthetics. I'm probably butchering that word. I don't know if you've noticed through my videos, but sometimes I pronounce words weirdly. My wife calls it Hawse. It's, yeah, I know what the words are, they just don't come out of my mouth sounding how they're supposed to. So no worries, always had that little issue my whole life, so we just keep working on it. So I want to go into this. So we got a static hull. So a static hull is fairly simplified polygons, but if we're not going to interact with it, we could, sorry, not static hull, I want to go, what was I looking at? Hull decomposition. So I don't know that we need hull decomposition for it. We could just go to box probably, or cylinder. If I go box on it, let's just see how that collision works for me when I go in engine here. So I'm going to bump up against this model pad. Now see, the thing is, I won't be able to jump up here, right? Because it's going to be a box of this whole outside shape. So that's what's going to be constraining me. So if I change that to possibly, I'm going to try, I'm not sure how convex hull is going to work. I'm going to give it a try. It might allow me to fade in there a little bit, but let's see. Not really, no, I'm still pretty limited there. However, am I ever going to need to get up on that ledge or do anything? I don't know. Don't know that I am. Now, to get up on that ledge, if I change this over here, oh, wrong one again. If I change this one over here to hull decomposition, then I can go around this side of it, and I can walk over it, and I'll just bump into wherever it is. The problem with hull decomposition is that it's designed for going inside and around objects and things, and it has more work and more processing to do. There's more polygons attached to it, so a person doesn't necessarily need it in all the circumstances. Like, did I really need to walk over that? When I'm in box mode, actually I'm going to show you no collision here, just so you're aware of what no collision does. Because there's going to be times where you're going to want no collision on some objects. I can walk right through it. I'm not going to get stopped by it. So if we're under here, because there's just some cables, that's actually not bad. That would be fine. No collision, and there's no math involved. However, to come between here is fine, but then when I get to this, that should stop me, but it doesn't. So that would be, you know, some people might go, oh, that didn't stop me or whatever. But you know what? In this case, I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to use no collision on that. So now we're going to come over here to this other object, the cylinder. And it's set as Polygon. And the reason I believe it's set as Polygon is because of this ladder. It allows you to walk up that ramp. So I'm going to try. Polygon has the most amount of work to do. Like it's every polygon, every surface, everything on there is being rendered out, and it's pretty math intensive. It's hard work. So I could go to cylinder, but I'll show you what happens when I go to cylinder mode. So I beeline it over here, and yeah, I'm stopped. And same thing, I walk around the whole side of it. However, if I try to go up these stairs, it just boots me off to the side. I can't do it. Try again. I'll go right, hugging the wall. Nope, boots me around the side. So I can't do that because it's taking the cylinder shape. Now I might be able to get away with, I haven't tested this, but I might be able to take that and use hull decomposition. Because with hull decomposition, it might see this as an opening that I can then go up. So I'm going to give that a try and see, because hull decomposition is a lot less work than full polygon for the engine. And it's recalculating. It's going to have to recalculate that whole surface. Give it a sec. Patience. Unless, of course, I locked up my game engine. Now, that's possible. We'll see. Just going to be patient. Hopefully it just does its thing. There we go. Yep, just took time as it recalculated. Now let's see if this works. There we go. It actually does work. But did it work all the way? Yep, off those stairs. It's definitely not letting me past this point here. So I don't think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to go change that back to Polygon if we want to be able to go up on that tower. And of course we do want to go up on that tower. And there we go, we're up on the tower. So that is something that you're going to have to play around with. But it's something that was really important to cover, because all of those shapes take on different mathematical strain on your GPU and your CPU to calculate out. So you're going to want to use Polygon sparingly. If you can at all, swing more towards the hull decomposition over here. And of course there's going to be like trees and character collision and other things in here that are pre-set up and to go. However, when you're dealing with these static objects and you're building out your terrain and stuff, you're definitely going to want to be working with the hull decomposition, the convex hull, the sphere, cylinder, box, and polygon as much as you can. I mean, the cylinder and the box are going to be your single most efficient. Box is going to be the most efficient after no collision, because no collision, you don't have to worry about it. There's no math involved at all. So here in this instance, what I've done is we have turned this onto Polygon, which is the most intensive, so that we can navigate up those stairs. However, compensating for it on this, we've just turned off all the collisions on this. And yes, there should be collision here running into the tire, but we could theoretically climbing through there over the tire or whatever. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. However, it definitely will help improve gameplay and doing things like that. So moving on. Now what I want to do is, we are on top of here. I think what I want to do is go down below and put a couple of shanty buildings down here. So we come here, add shanty town outbuildings. Start with they look about the same. Let's go to structures. Start with some small huts. So I'm going to put a small hut over here by the trees. We're going to come over here, drag another small hut over here, but we're going to rotate it one, We're going to come over here, put another small hut over here, and we're going to rotate it 2. Then we're going to come back in here, add a different building. We're going to add a shed. And we're going to come over here. We're going to add another shed. Perfect. Now we're going to come back in. We're going to add, I think we're going to go back to that out. Well, no, we're going to add a house. We're going to add a big house here. Put this one in the middle. Then we're going to come over here. Add another big house. Back here. Rotate it 2. Yeah, we're going to rotate it that way, I think. Zoom in on it a bit here. So we're going to move it over. A little tight of the trees. Rotate it one more. Actually, kind of like it like that. Perfect. Then we're going to give these guys a fence. I think. Fence. Let's see, let's go. One of these. Here we go. Another one here. We're going to rotate it. Take another one here. Take another one here. Rotate it. R is rotate, by the way. Take another one here. Oh, we're going to rotate it. Now there are different fences and you could get really artistically creative, etc., with it. However, I want to look for a gate. See if they have a gate in their collection here. Doesn't look like they do, so I think what we'll do then is we're just going to take some tires. And we're going to put those That's good enough. Cool. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to hit a quick save. Save that. And then we're going to take a looky-loo and test the level out. Okay. So again, we're on top of the tower. Oh, there's our little shanty town. Let's go take a little look. There's our shed. It's pretty dark in there. We don't have any lights. It's almost like the textures aren't showing up. I wonder if these are supposed to be nighttime buildings. They're kind of dark, but we might be able to change that. Yeah, let's just look at, go look at this guy's, this little fence thing we built down here for him. Looks pretty good. Of course, it's, so we got an opening there that needs to be tightened up a bit. That corner is wide open as well. So yeah, not perfect in my setting. I didn't have them snapping in. I probably can change that. Here's my little shanty. Here's my tires against my fence here. Yep, that worked out pretty good. Inside of that yard. Can't get in there. So yeah, we're going to escape out of there. So we do need to do a little tightening up here, and I'm just going to take care of that because it's going to bug me if I don't. Bang. Probably should start from the side here, actually. Should I leave that open? Oh, you know what? I'm going to bring it over. Bang. Bring that there. Bang. Bring that there. Let's just take a look from up above. Quickly see if we need to adjust this. We do not, but this one we do. I'm going to bring it over here. Clean that corner up there. Bring this one over here. Clean that corner up there. Bring this over here. And then bring this one in. Take this one, bring it in. And then we're going to need to move these tires. Perfect. All right. There we go. I think that's better. Now this house that we picked here, we can't actually enter the house, so you'd actually have a person standing outside and so on and so forth. These other houses, I'm not sure I like those. However, for game purposes, I'm not really that concerned about it. So we're just going to hit save now. Now we're going to check the behaviors on some of these items just to see what they're at. So this is set as a convex hull. Doesn't need to be. That can be a cylinder. This is set as a convex hull. It can be a box. This box. This box. What is this building set at? Okay, that's probably what we want. Hull decomposition. We could go with a convex hull, but I think we'll go decomposition because it's not a solid box. It's not a cube. We want to be able to walk in this area here, and there are openings and things. So, Yeah, well, not that we go in or anything, but we're going to want to leave that, I think, alone. I'm just going to zoom up here and quickly change these other. Convex hull, box, convex hull, box. 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 Make sure this is set as a box. Okay, I think we're good. So, these, probably got to leave them as they are, so that we can walk inside of them. So we're going to leave all those buildings alone. And we're basically at the part now where we've showed you basic behaviors of objects to place and things like that. But we're also going to want to just show you quickly how to fill in some details and things. So there are lots of details. We got this shed here. Actually, we're going to go over to the other shed. I want to go to the shed on the far side, over there. And what I want to do is set a crate in here. We're going to go to add, and I believe it's just going to be, well, we'll put one of these in for something to do. Perfect. We're going to add booster pack maybe. I want to go here to containers and let's just see, is there a big crate anywhere? Storage box. Oh, nope. We don't want that, but now we'll stack it on top. Okay. We want something a little bit bigger. Although I could scale that, but you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that down here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go to properties here. And I'm going to scale this guy up. There we go. Big ass cardboard box. And I'm going to rotate it one too, just so it doesn't look too horrible. So now what I wanted to do, I wanted that there because I want to add a weapon in here. Don't need that. I want max collection all the way down. Weapons. Then from the weapons, I want to add sledgehammer. So there we go. So now we've got a sledgehammer. So the other thing I want to do is I'm going to zoom out a bit here. I'm going to bring my game player down to the bottom of the hill here. And that's what we want. Perfect. There's something I was looking for. I think it's in here. I want to change. Not worried about any of this stuff yet. We'll play around with that later. But I want to change this to melee. Because I like the hands. Now we're going to save again. we're going to test the level. So first thing I need to test, there's my nice windmill and stuff up there. Bloom coming through the trees. Here's this little shack. Okay, I want the sledgehammer. So you see how with the first person shooter logic, what happens is that when you get close to a weapon, it tells you to press E to pick up the weapon, T to replace. I think T might replace your existing weapon. Not sure. Anyways, now if I click the mouse, I can swing. Boom. Boom. So I now have a hammer. So we could use that for whatever we needed. But I want to go over here quickly. Not to this shanty. Maybe the window. Swinging into the window. Bouncing off the wall. Just checking that hull dynamics if the window is open space or not. But I just quickly want to run against these since I've set them to box mode. And I set those tires to cylinder mode. I quickly want to just check them out and see what we got. So, boom, box mode. Nice. Works. Nothing's hanging me up on it. Excellent. Cylinder mode. Nothing hanging me up. Perfect. The only thing might be running into this tire. No. No, we're fine. We're just running along the outside edge. So, if you set like hull decomposition or Polygon or something, you could be running along this wall. You'd be closer to this wall than I am because the box constraints are going to be right there, like right there, outside of the tire perimeter, because the box will encompass the entire structure's dimensions. So it isn't exactly perfect, but for the amount of processing power and optimization that you always need to pay attention to when you're building games and levels, especially larger games and levels, you need to make sure that you are paying attention to all these things and optimizing wherever you possibly can. So now we've got this foliage here, which I'm not really keen on. So what we're going to do is a little bit of shaping here. So we're going to zoom out just a bit here. And well, actually, first I'm going to put a central building into the bottom of the hill here. I want to add, we're going to go to Shantytown, structures, old buildings. We're going to put a big old hangar kind of right in the middle of town here. And we're going to rotate it like that, I think. Because what I want to do, and it's probably going to be, see, is it set to Polygon? Nope, hull decomp, so that's good. So what I want to do, I'm just going to give it a real quick test here. Need to make sure it lined up and everything, since it might have been a little bit on the hill. There it is. Alright, let's run over there. Let's see if we can run through these doors. Yes, we can. So hull decomp works fine for this. Alright, well that's what I wanted to do there. So, now, I'm going to escape out of here. Now what I want to do is, I want to lay down some road. So we're going to go over to terrain. And we're going to come over here to this guy. Paint the edible terrain. So what this lets you do is change the ground foliage. What I want to paint in is basically some dirt road. Chunky rock, cliff rock. Rocky Mountain ground, riverbed stone, wet riverbed gravel, dirt path. We could do a dirt path, but you know what? I think I like... I'm going to go with rocky soil here. Now, I'm going to go right like that a bit. I'm going to bring the brush size down. And we're going to do a rocky soil path out this way to the beach. And then we're going to do one comes up here. And we're just going to do a little bit on the top here. All right, now we're going to go take a little look and see how that looks. So one thing in level design, if you want people to go in a certain place or check certain things out, or if you want to bring a little semblance of life, give them some roads. Now, what I wish this had in the palette was I wish I could change the pressure, because otherwise I'm just doing some spotting to try and fill in spots here. And I'm not really super thrilled with that. I would like to be able to feather it out more, maybe have it a little lighter towards the edges. It would be nice if they added, and developers, if you're listening, maybe you could add a feather slider or something, because that would be really good when a person's painting that terrain out, is be able to feather that a little more, add a little more interference or noise into the pattern per se. So we're going to take a look at that, see how it looks though. It shouldn't look too bad. There we go. We're going to come over this way. Approach it from the ocean side so we can get a good look at it. Now you can see already that there's a bunch of nice little dirt roads. Not too bad. But again, it doesn't taper. It tapers a bit, but it'd be nice if that tapered a little bit more, right? So I got my little path here. I could have made my brush a lot smaller, but I also wanted to make it as wide as a road in case you got like horse and cart, or I guess in this case, sort of post-apocalyptic-y, it'd be, I don't know, like a Volkswagen with horses pulling on it or something. And then we run through here and we can see that we got a dirt floor throughout this entire structure now. Right out here, we'll just take a look around the edge. Comes out a little bit. It's not super invasive on the outside. This side could stand to lose a little here. Be feathered a bit more, maybe. Whatever, I can paint over that. And then you can see I've got this nice little winding road going up the hill. Just follow it up. Just want to see how it looks up top. So this angle here, so this could have been smoothed out a little more, I guess. Or I could have taken a straighter approach up. This doesn't look very good here. This will need to be tweaked at a later date. Or I might just tweak it when I get out of here now. However, there we go. Nice clearing. We'll put another building up here or something. And then it wraps around. Let's see how it wraps around over to here. Oh yeah, no, it blends in. Dirt flows over the side nicely. It's all good. Yep. No, that works. I can live with that. Let's escape out of here now. So that, I don't care for that there. So what we're going to do is grab a bit of this. And we're just going to zoom in a bit here. Oh, I think we want this. And I don't mind that coming up over there. However, let's just do that. So you'll see I grabbed the same texture that my mountain was already, so. We're just going to come up this way just a little bit, just to clean that edge up. And then we're going to come here, and we're just going to narrow it down. We don't need it quite as thick here. I'm going to shrink my brush to fit that on the screen. And then we're just going to clean up a little bit around this. We don't need it quite so bold. There we go. No big deal. Down here, I definitely want to clean that up a hair. Let's just go like this. Oh. And undo. Okay. We need to change that over to, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay. And just gonna narrow, narrow that down a bit there. Go back to this one again. Okay, go back to the grass one. We're just going to zoom in again a bit over here. Just going to clean up a little bit around the edges here. There we go. I don't mind the dirt like that. That's fine and dandy. We're just going to take it around here a bit. We don't need it out so far for this dirt road, right? Just looked a little bit sloppy, but that's what tweaking's all about. Not going to get perfect with it. This is just a demo level. However, we don't need to be a complete mess about it. And zoom out just a little bit here. Perfect. Okay. Don't need to get too crazy with it. Cool. And then do I need to hit that other side a little bit maybe? Let's go here. Yeah, we're okay there. And that's probably pretty good. Yep, cool. All right. So the other thing we want to do now is these plants right in the middle here. So we're going to go over here to plants. And then this is to paint plants. This is to delete plants. So we're going to go here and we're going to delete plants. And the brush size is a bit small. 91 is pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to reorient ourselves a bit here. Zip up to the sky. I'm sure there's better ways to travel around these things than I do. However, you know, it is what it is. And I'm just going to go over this, over this. Then we're going to go just going to go here, quickly hit this. No. All right. Now we've cleaned that up. So now we actually want to be able to paint some plants in here. And so I'm going to choose that, 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 that. Sure. And then we're going to make the brush size bigger. Not that big. It's pretty good there. Bang. 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 Now we're going to shrink. Shrink this down now. Just do a little more filling in along the areas you're going to be walking. There we go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save. Save. Go back to object mode. Test level. And now you can see we really have a lot more stuff going on. Now, I don't know if these are the right combinations or whatever. I just randomly sprayed a whole bunch of stuff out. So, but you can see that the areas where I sprayed with the terrain changes, the plants tended to change to match it a little bit, it looks like. So I think it might be smart as far as that goes. Excuse me. But I come back down over here and you can see that there's a lot of plants in the mix. You can also see where the roads inside the building now do not have plants on them. So much more like a dirt road. Now, there was an area that I didn't like that was sharp up at the top of the mountain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to escape and we're going to come up to the top of the mountain here. And we're going to go back in. Now just so you can see that road? See where I've cleared that road a bit? And then you see where I didn't clear it from the plant life. How dramatically different that effect looks like. That's obviously our dirt road now. And of course you can play around with the textures and things to your heart's content. So this is what I didn't like right here. So I'm going back into the terrain editor. I want to plant some plants. And what I'm going to do is take this brush way down, even smaller. And I'm going to just put a bunch of plants in here. Now there might be advanced settings for this where I can actually change the underwater height to match terrain color. Advanced, yeah, it does match terrain color. So I'm going to turn off match terrain color, right? And I'm going to come in here. And I'm just going to click. Well, no, it's not. Minimum height 0, maximum height 100. Maybe I can't. Take these off. Throw a bunch of these pink ones in here. I don't see a density's already at 100. It doesn't look like I can add a lot more to this, so I'll just put a few more in here. Kind of slow. I'd like that to be able to, in all fairness, I'd like to be able to change that. Now, I might be able to, you know, there's some fill hole terrain, there's this and that, whatever, but, no, that took one out and put another different one in. I don't like that. Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to fill that in a little bit and then just see how it looked, just to make it a little more obscured. The other thing a guy could do too is you can put some sandbags or things or some more tires or something. Let's go to the military collection and let's go, you know, we could add a frickin' concrete barrier in there maybe or something. No. Esco blocks, no. Sandbags. We're going to put some sandbags in there. We're just going to grab this one here. It's kind of big, but I want to see how that works. Put it there. Rotate it. Rotate it. Rotate it. Rotate it. Yeah, something like that. And we'll just move it over this way a bit. Bang. Okay, just gonna drag our player position up here. Give it a save, of course. Give it a test. Okay, let's see what we got. So we added a whole bunch of grass and stuff, and we added a bunch of sandbags. How's that look? Sandbags look pretty good. Kind of obscuring that a little bit. I could add more in there, I guess. But they kind of do the job. You know, the extra grass in behind, so just when you're coming up on it from a distance, you could put some more fill in there. I think what I'll do is I'll add single sandbag here. Zoom in a bit. Put that there. Drag another one on top. There. Rotate it. Move it over this way a bit. Yeah, let's take a look at that now. That should be better. You've always got to do some stuff to clean up the level design, right? So, yeah, see there against the edge. I could probably throw another one in there if I really wanted to, but you know what? That looks good, except that one plant sticking through the sandbag. We'll go get rid of him. We're going to go back to terrain mode. We're going to go to foliage. We're going to go to eraser. Shrink that right down. We're going to make you 5. Bang. Just get rid of him so that he's better. Perfect. Okay. Save the level. Going back to the objects again. So now, basically, this is about where we wanted to leave off. We've put in objects and behaviors. You've looked at the behaviors. Oh, the one thing I do need to look at. Thank you very much for reminding me. Was we needed to look at the shape of these. And hull decomp, we don't need that. We're going to go box. Hull decomp, we don't need that. We're going to go box. Hull decomp, we don't really need that. We can definitely go box. There we go. And we just want to save. Now I'm just going to run up into those real quick just to make sure that it's going to work fine in box mode, because when you do change the mode on items and stuff, make sure to test them, because here, I can run over that. Down. You see how that brought me up over it, though. So there's the sandbags. Box mode. I'm not sure why I'm going over that. I shouldn't be going over that. However, not really that important. Like the no collision up above wasn't really that important. But yeah, so there we go. That fixed that little corner up that was looking pretty rough. Just threw some stuff in there. And of course there's rocks and objects like that you could have placed too or whatever. But sandbags work because this is a shanty town industrial region. So we're going to escape out of there. And we are sitting at a pretty good place to stop. I was going to say I could add a character in and show you the behaviors there. But I think characters and behaviors are going to be a whole different lesson. We wanted to cover object placement and object behaviors. It would be nice to put a few more plants and foliage in here, but you know what? I stretched out really by playing around a little bit more and just tweaking things a bit more than I needed to for this. You've got the idea about how to do your placements, about how to set your collision zone, your behaviors. There's other behaviors you can assign as well to an object. However, we didn't have the need to assign any. And because they're set as static objects rather than game interaction objects, that hasn't been added at this point, and they might not add it because they're static objects. However, if I wanted a player to be able to pick up this sandbag, for instance, what I could do is I could actually change that object. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go here and I'm going to add another sandbag, and we're just going to drop it right here. And then we're going to change the properties on that sandbag from static to physics on. And what we're going to do is turn the strength up to 5, I guess. I don't know if that affects anything physics-wise, but I think it is because it's all in physics mode. Collision shape's a box. For this one, you probably want to make this one a convex hull. Well, hull decomp. I think you're going to want to go hull decomp on that one because players can interact with it and things don't want to look too goofy, so you want to actually look like you're holding the shape. Then what we want to do there is we can then go into behaviors and in wait a sec, I thought I told it wasn't a static object. perhaps I cannot tell this particular object to be a static object. But anyway, yeah. Thought you could. I thought you could just go into general, basically turn physics on. I guess you can't do it. Or maybe you can, and I just have to figure that out. I'll do a bit of playing around off camera. But anyway, then a player could come in, and if you could assign a behavior, player could pick this up. Or a player could kick it or do whatever. So there is definitely things you can do there. Just not with the sandbag, it appears. And I don't know, I haven't played around with enough objects to know what you can and can't do that with. So probably like small boxes and tools and things. So I don't know. But that's where we're going to leave this, because we've gone into it all, and I've even covered the other behaviors. Even though I wasn't able to demonstrate them, you'll be able to figure them out. And then that's going to wrap this episode up, and we'll come back for another one.